Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are exploring Aboriginal art and like stuff before here, and we are going to be looking at all the art sculptures and what was made before all of us. And yeah, I'll show you the view, sunset and all that. Stay tuned. Before we watch it, we view this video, make sure to like and subscribe. That would really help me out. And thank you. Alright, let's get ahead to it. Alright, first off, how we're going to start off this video. It's probably the view before it gets dark and stuff. Yeah, I'll show you. So this is what I'm looking at now. That's the city. I'm currently in Broken Hill. Desert, middle of New South Wales. After this city, I'm going to go to Adelaide. Yeah. So like you can see, so this city was famous for its old mines. So let's just go take a walk. Beautiful area it really is. There's the middle of the desert out there. Red dirt and stuff and whatnot. So here's how we're going to be starting off. So the Broken Hill sculptures. So I'll read it to you. So and all the time there were kangaroos hopping, Valeria, whatever that says, opening speech. All you need to survive in the outback is a good fire, a good tent, and a good cook. Living on a mountaintop also required good water, showers, and a good toilet. All these items arrived as destiny required. Beds from the hospital, tents from Menindee, various appliances from the city council, and of course the odd inquisitive soul who more astonishment than anything else had wandered up in the hillside. The stalwart of the camp was State Emergency Service, which supplied to main meals a day and kept them harder. Stocked with them and would have been a total failure. Alright, so that's the first one. Let's go have a look at the second one. So the Broken Hill sculptures. During the symphony, Adair was particularly impressed with nature and her elements, specifically the silence and solitude of the site. He badly injured his hand while working on his piece, so it became a collective work with input from Catherine Moult, Badger Bates, and Herbert Shiner. The work is mouthful head, that is, a dawn looks towards the sun. At the back of the piece, the dove of the night symbolizes darkness. To one side, the wedge-tailed eagle symbolizes spirituality, sorry about that, height, strength, and freedom. The hands represent those of the sculptures. So this is what we're looking at. So you can see there, it's a bird. Let me just tilt it. Head right there, wings, tail. Yeah, that's that famous rock. Let's go have another look. Right, so the Broken Hill sculptures, as with most Twewy arts, Thomas developed his art under the watchful eye of old men, experienced Twewy carvers from Nigidu of Bathurst Island. His sculpture of a waterbed neck stretched upward catching a fish is named after Thomas' daughter born during the symposium. Thomas returned to Bathurst Island early, but sadly the child died several weeks later of the viral malignancy. The unfinished sculpture may be viewed as a metaphor for the child's brief life. Alright, so this is that right here. Go take a look. So this symbolizes a bird. No, not a bird. Something. Forgot. Yeah. So this used to be mines over here. We'll look at this one. Battery graduated from the Tbilisi Art Academy and was a senior member of the Georgia Red Cross. He could not communicate with his family throughout the weeks of Symphony because of the war in Azerbaijan and in the melancholy is reflected in his work. His classical sculpture theme was influenced by a sense of purity, which he found at the symphonizing site. Badgery commented, "The child is a portent of my son. The fine details and left of your own inspiration." And here it was. Badgery, CC Georgina, 1993. See how there's humans out there, stuff, running. Let's move over to the next one. Mahmoud studied sculpture at the Damas University and Outsclass Sculpture School in France. His work depicts a reclining woman who the near point of the back, with her face and breast facing the sunlight. On the body of the sculpture are Australian icons, the Southern Cross, emu, and kangaroo. Other symbols represent Aboriginals and city of Broken Hill. A hand is raised in greeting. So you can see there's a bird there, foot, some carving down there, carving up here, kangaroo right there, star, yeah, and this, let me just switch. The bride, Australian. Alright, so let's move over to this one. So that's the sun right there. So this all used to be sculptures of mines and stuff. That's what we're talking about here. Let's have a look. So, Conrad was born and raised in the United Kingdom and intense experience in a variety of sculpture mediums. During the symposium, Conrad taught techniques to visiting students, and additional work carved at the site is now on display in the Broken Hill Entertainment Centre Plaza. Conrad's sculpture is the best described in his own words. I worked out around the rock, discovering within the moon. I recalled an Aboriginal legend of a woman who steals the moon and replaces it in a dilly bag. You can see the legend in the sculpture. So this is it. Here. And so look at this one. Han is a Bedouin and grew up living in a traditional Bedouin life. He studied sculpture and fine arts and democrats in Warsaw. Han sculpture is symbolic of the interior shapes that keep a loving family together. Commenting of the symbolizing Ahmed said around here, I feel that this has been home of a habit for thousands of years. The landscape protects this warmth and kindness as happens within a family. All things are together in many respects. The sculpture is the map of a surrounding hills, but it is more to represent in the spirit of the palace. And this is it. Yep, let me just clear my screen. So that's yeah, and let's head over to the next one. So Antonio is an Aztec Indian who studied at the National School of Painting, Sculpture and Printing. Mexico City his sculpture is based on the music Judge Rees Bajere also Jaguar, use of the sun and the moon and depict the duality and night and represented by the star of Venus. The mouth of the jaguar takes the sun at night to protect it. Day it is represented by the circle created by the sun. Up here, what it is. Yeah. Yeah. So, Ballerine graduated in fine arts and several times during the symposium he worked all night under a full moon to determine the planes and shadows of his sculpture. He describes his work as a device to measure the moon and the western face of the sun. The shadows move consistently across the rock, and thus the sculpture change from season. The sun dial located on the back of the sculpture casts a shadow which falls in the triangle each way at the time. The onion was working on the rock. So this. Oops. Alright, started sculpture in Sydney, London and Sofia. His work is featured in many galleries in both Australia and overseas. It was Lawrence's single-minded determination which led to the symposium. He describes his sculpture critically as, "My work is an attention of strata of the hill. All that matters is love, even hard sandstone, only thread, and I truly know what the sculpture is." Thanks. Badger, a sites officer with the National Parks and Wildlife Service, is widely regarded as one of the local region's best bushmen. During the attempt of sculpture Stone, having previously established a national reputation in emu egg carving, a lithograph. The work is dominated near water. A pool was carved between them. The footprint is a gradually and Fred Hollow stepping into the afterlife. The hand stencils represent 3 generations of the Bats family. Other symbols include 2 interlinked waterholes and I can't see what that says. Other symbolized is waterholes and a single waterhole with animal tracks as well as a sand iguana. And it recognizes there, that's all symbolizes and stuff. Let's go take another look. The Tuareg people of Bathurst Island have a long tradition of carving burrow holes. The poles are purchased by institutions and private buyers throughout the world. This was Gordon's first attempt at sculpturing in stone, and the development of technique is partly on the eastern side of the sculpture. The sculpture represents a traditional burial pole with of birds, fish, and tortoise. So there. What? Gambler studied sculpture in Tbilisi, but at the time of symposium was president of Georgina Sculpture Society. He was particularly impressed by the Symphony art. His first thoughts were that the stone arrangement was so powerful in itself that the promotion was already complete and we could go on the holiday. Jumper's work is a tribute to horses. In his words, people must be wearing the tail of the horse at request or the Georgina's house, a special European breed was thoroughbred. Yeah.